Hi, First UMC Elon family. It is your Wednesday devotion coming to you on Thursday because we all have those weeks, don't we? Yes, we do. Actually, last night was Vacation Bible School, and I was hoping that I could share some Vacation Bible School with you last night. And I tried to take a video, but it just didn't turn out very good. So I'll try to do one next week so you can see how we're doing VBS this year. Instead of doing like 4 or 5 nights straight, we're just going to take the 5 curriculum pieces and do one each week on Wednesday nights. We started last night and we'll do it all the way into the beginning of August. And the story that we shared with the kids last night, Candace Bennett and Jen Musser were the ones that were doing Bible school on Zoom with our kids. They shared the story of the prodigal son. If y'all know that story, the man had 2 sons, and one's like, give me the stuff that belongs to me when you die, and I'm going to go and do some fun stuff somewhere else, just not here. And he goes and spends all the money and kind of ends up broke and hungry and decides to come back home. And he's like ready to say, Dad, I'm just kind of messed up, and I understand you don't want to call me your son, just treat me like a servant, and I'll just work for you. And the father's like, no, 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 and he embraces him and throws a big party, and then the older son hears music and dancing. He's like, what? And he's kind of upset that his little brother, who he thinks really screwed up big time, gets rewarded with a party, and he's been working hard for his dad this whole time, and he gets nada. So he won't even go into the party. There's this big feast, this big dinner, and they kill the fatted calf, and he's not going to go. Doesn't want a seat at the table. And so his father comes out and he's like, son, you're always with me. Everything that I have is yours, but we had to celebrate, because your brother came back home. And we thought he was dead. We thought we'd never see him again, but here he is, and that's a good thing. And so he made a seat at the table for that younger son. He was trying really hard to kind of make another seat at the table for the older son. And that's what we talked about last night, is inviting people to come to the table. What does it mean to create a place at the table for everyone? And we talked about one way that we can do that is by having compassion and understanding what that seat at the table for other people might need to look like, or what we may need to do to help them receive that invitation and to come to the table. And that just really hit home with me, because there's so many things going on around us right now where people aren't really sure what it means to have a seat at the table, or people are like, we don't know what it means to create space at this table. We're looking at school starting again in the fall, maybe not, in some way, shape, or form, and trying to figure out what it means to create kind of a safe space at the table of education for children and families and their caregivers and the teachers and staff and bus drivers and all the folks that would have a role in school and administrators, and what it means to create that safe space at the table, for everybody. And First School is kind of going through that right now, trying to figure out what it means to create a safe space here for the First School students and their families and staff. And thinking about kind of race and where our country has been kind of struggling around this issue, and what does it mean to create space at the table for folks who maybe didn't think that they had a space at the table and were really frustrated because they've wanted a space. What does it mean to create that space? What work do we need to do in our hearts and lives to really create that space at the table so that everybody can come to the table? And we talked about compassion last night, beginning to really try to feel what other people are feeling. And we use the example of, if you've ever watched someone step on a Lego, what do? Even if you're sitting in a chair and you watch someone else step on that Lego, you go, we feel that with them. Even though we didn't step on the Lego, we know, or we can imagine what that feels like, and it doesn't feel good. So we kind of have that compassion. We feel that pain, that hurt with them. And I think right now, feeling people's frustration and feeling people's anxiety and feeling their fears and concerns, feeling their anger sometimes, and just really opening up our hearts and minds to try to imagine. We can't always feel what someone else feels, but we can try to imagine our best what it must be like for them to feel the way that they feel, and to validate that it's okay to feel that way. I don't feel that way, but it's okay for you to feel that way. Instead of telling people how we think they should feel. What is it like to have compassion and try to imagine? What caused someone to feel that way? And to start with where they are and what it means for that person to have a seat at the table. So now we've all kind of had our VBS moment today. So I hope that we'll see all our kids next Wednesday night at 6:30 back in our Zoom VBS. And as a congregation, I hope we'll be praying for our kids in Vacation Bible School, and also praying for all the school administrators and leaders and faculty and staff and school kids and families and all those folks that are kind of going through a real difficult time, just not knowing what's going on, and to keep First School in our prayers as well, as we have compassion and try to help people find their place at the table and to create space at the table for everyone. So that is our devotional thought for today, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.